This is one of my favorite tricks, and I've done it a couple times now to help build consistency across the revenue journey, the customer journey, and it all has to do with bringing the third part of kind of the voice of the customer. So you got voice of the employee, right, which is super important. Voice of the customer, always. And you want to do voice of your product. So key here is making sure that all teams have a seat at the table when looking at feedback. So I've had, of course, times where you go into an organization and the product team, they're always thinking about what's next. BAU, business as usual, is always kind of a tough thing to get going. So thinking about the acronym LIFO, or last in, first out. So what I usually do to bring the product team to the table is tie everything to the revenue. So if you've done your 80-20 and looked at your revenue by segmenting your customers, you can figure out who your kind of top customers are. And if you're doing subscriptions and they're all the same, then start looking at breaking down things by revenue cycle, or sorry, renewal cycle. All right, so you've got your 80-20 or you've got your renewal cycle segmentation. Now take the backlog of the product and tie it to your customer segments. So now you'll have this ability to look at who's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, if you start actually breaking down backlog by customers, you can then tie revenue to your backlog. So this is a great way for, again, you're not pointing fingers. The whole goal here is to help you isolate and have a higher impact discussion on revenue with the senior leadership across the whole team, right? So now I've seen this work. It's not, it takes time. You can't just decide you're going to fix everything in the backlog, but you can talk about putting an implementation with the team. If you don't have a BAU team, which is business as usual, who is focused on fixing the backlog as it comes in, once you go through this, and it can take 6 to 8 to 12 months, but once you get to a place where all things are being fixed in the current actual month, it's amazing. It's amazing for CSMs who can have discussions with customers on, hey, you know that defect you reported last month? It's already fixed. So taking away which always happens when you're going to renewals or QBRs and you're talking with building trust and value, and let's talk about strategy. A lot of times customers will go, great, love the idea of growth, fix my shit. Fix my shit first in my product, then we'll talk about how we want to scale, grow, and improve the usage and adoption of your product. Take that away. So this is something that's worked great for me. I hope this sharing in the post, but I'd love to hear any ideas that people are doing LIFO or first in, first out. There's a couple acronyms for it. But again, it's about shifting away from maybe longer release cycles and really focusing on stability, quality, and helping arm the CS team with product isn't a problem. Now let's talk about outcomes, strategy, value, and storytelling. All right, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for the time.